All right, I'm back for Dusty's ongoing coverage of Frag X Tap 2, and I'm with Mads coming off of TSM 2.0's opening win against Sedated. So to start, pretty easy match I think for you overall, considering it's a mixed team with the manager of M80. How's the team feeling coming out of that series?
Yeah, we're feeling good, get a little warm up in. Everybody's kind of clicking. We're all kind of just having fun. So it's good.
And obviously, you're not playing with the regular TSM roster. You have a mix with, I believe, you, LX, Austin from Mythic, Pretzel, and Tyler. How did this roster come together for this LAN?
We bought a spot. Other teammates couldn't come. Roster changes happened. And I was like, Austin, you want to play? I know he's a good player. He's a great IGL. I figured, could leave IGLing in the dust for a little bit. And Tyler, obviously, he's a good player. He's Austin's friend, and then Pretzel. I never knew Pretzel, but that's another Austin recommendation. So.
And you mentioned there the plan was a 10 with the whole team. Obviously, the team's recently gone through some roster changes, but was the goal to bring the whole squad with you, even if it was Dai and Bungie?
Yeah. I think like we had plans to try to come here before everything happened. It kind of happened pretty suddenly, so I just didn't want to waste the spot, and I really wanted to play. I think it's good experience, so I just figured making a good mixed team would be, would suffice.
Now, discussing those changes that happened to the TSM Impact squad, it was a very sudden and somewhat shocking move to see Phoebe and Empathy leave the team. Now that some time has passed, what happened there with that move that saw the team sort of split in half?
Yeah. So it's all kind of a mess. They say one thing, another thing really happened. Professionally saying and speaking, it wasn't a good fit. Things were happening. Chemistry was really off. They weren't agreeing with the way that we were playing, and our general manager felt like it was time to make a change. So we ended up making a change, and that's why we're running tryouts.
And as a result of those changes happening in the middle of the season, you ended up finishing with Dai and Bungie. With those two players on the team, TSM Impact had somewhat of a mixed result this season. I believe finishing 3-4 or 4-3, depending on if you play your match tonight. Was that? Are you guys happy with that result, considering the circumstances, or what's kind of your thought process going from being a top team in the ESL NA Impact scene to being sort of a middle of the tier team right now?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously we're not where we want to be, but we kind of knew that using, substitutes for the rest of the season that haven't really played Counter-Strike in a while, have been in a different game, Valorant, we kind of knew that our results not going to be great. Right now, we're more just focusing on our future and building a really good foundation with the people that we're trying out with. So realistically, it wasn't a move for this season. This season was kind of like, you know what, it happened, we put it behind us, and we move forward for next season.
And with that in mind, is there a chance those two stand and stay with the team, or are we looking at completely new tryouts for the squad?
Yeah, so right now, tryouts are open for anybody. All the spots are basically up for grabs. So yes, they do have a chance, but they're trying out just like everybody else.
Has the team struggled to find new replacements for Empathy and Phoebe? Especially Empathy is such a strong individual fragger. It's kind of a hard gap to fill, especially with the focus being on an NA squad. Has that been a struggle to find a replacement?
I mean, Empathy's a great player for sure. I think that obviously, like, her mechanical skills were amazing, but we just lacked a lot of mental depth when it came to understanding like when to make a play, when to make a solo play, when to do things, and it just wasn't working out. I think like mechanical aim is great. Mechanical skills are awesome, and like I said, I think she's a great player. But I think right now we're more focused on trying out individuals that not only have mechanical skill but are very capable of listening and understanding the game around them at the same time.
With the transition, with 2025 bringing the introduction to the VRS as the main way tournaments are going to be inviting teams, there's a decent chance we'll see TSM Impact invited to more mixed tournaments. What do you think about that opportunity? Do you think we'll see TSM Impact spring up, or what do you think of the challenge ahead of you?
I mean, I think it's a great challenge. I think any time that you're capable of playing, better talent or just anybody in general and getting more officials in, I think it's really great practice, and I think it would be great for the new squad, especially coming in. It would definitely be needed for reps.
Looking towards the end of the year, we're going to see you. We're going to see you heading off to Saudi Arabia quite soon for the ISF female tournament, where you're going to be playing on Team USA, I believe, with a mixture of TSM and Blue Otter Comma players. What's the team's expectation for that event heading into Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, so like last year we secured third place, got a third place medal, and I'm pretty sure that we have that in us again. There's a lot of good European talent, of course, a lot of teams that are actual Impact rosters playing, but I think that we can shoot for at least top 5, I would say.
And looking back towards this tournament, next up you're going to be playing Penance, which for those who don't know is essentially that Phoenix/Perseverance core of Kojomo, MDS, and Gabe. What are your expectations heading into that match?
They're great players, so we're kind of expecting them to be really well-rounded and fundamentally sound. I think that we're just going to go in and play our game, maybe kind of surprise them more with mechanics, more of a puggy style of play. But we'll see, I mean, I think it's just, it's going to be fun.
All right, so that's Mnmzzz of TSM 2.0, normally of TSM Impact, and we're going to be heading into Penance quite soon, so be sure to check that out. Thank you.